from time to time and let people know that we are here. In fact, I'm just going to have a quick check again. David wants the wind at 7 to 8 knots northwest. Northwest. What have you got? Northeast. The other boat, whose name I haven't quite got, could you just confirm that it is northwest wind there? Because David thought it would be northeast. Over. It is northeast. There you go. All right. Thank you for that. So he does check up on you guys, doesn't he? And I'm just going back to Taranui to make. Oh, I wrote it down wrong. It's my fault. Northeast. I take it all back, Tony. It is northeast. My error here. Goodness gracious me. Well, I haven't slept much last night for some strange reason. All right, I'm just going to see if we've got Cobalt on frequency. Cobalt. Nothing heard there, and I know I struggle with Imagine, but we'll give Imagine a go. Any copy, Imagine? Well, I suspect you are there, but I'm not copying you. That radio of yours is not all that great for me. I will stand by to see if there's any relays. The boat in Tonga, Hapa is that called. I'm sorry I haven't got your boat name correct yet. Could you try again and let me know if you copied anybody else? Over. Yeah, I'm just not getting that, unfortunately. It's up and down signals at the moment. It's strong 1 minute and then not the next, so that I only get half of the words. All right, I am just going to stand by here and we'll see if it improves. Well, I'm getting you well this morning, Andrew. Are you in Luganville?
Just around the corner.
Oh, yep, around the corner at, what is it? Palakula or something. Know that spot. We actually spent quite a bit of time there. If you go frolicking in the bushes, you see all sorts of evidence of the Americans in World War II. All right, I'm going to ask you to see if you can copy Imagine. Over.
You copy Imagine, I did copy Imagine. The other vessel tried to call you, but the vessel was Sailmore. And the
Sail, is it Sailmore? Over. Oh, sorry, I doubled. Was it Sailmore? As in Sailmore? Over. Oh, okay. I just wasn't familiar with that. Thank you very much. You had a good signal here, so that was good. And who was the other boat? Over.
Taranui.
Oh, it was Taranui. Yeah, I struggled with him. All right. Well, Taranui, I've got you. I think once you get a little bit closer, maybe. But it's not all that great here today. So, all right, I'm going to give a call for Cobalt, Gulf Harbour. Gulf Harbour Radio is on 8779er. I just put a call out on 8752 to let them know we are here on 8779. But Andrew, is it quite strong, the radar on 8752? Up with you, over?
Yeah, you do have ending calling, over.
Okay, they might be a little close for me, so see if you can copy them. Oh no, I should still be able to copy them. NV, go ahead, Matt, over.
NV, this is Uncanny. Stand by Gulf Harbour, I'm getting NV's position, but go ahead.
He's a really good operator. Okay, we're just waiting for Envy's position, folks.
Okay, I've got your position at 298 south, 173 at 35 east. On a course of 165 magnetic. The speed it was 5 something. David, over.
He's done well.
Roger, 9 knots, 9 knots. Is that all copy there, Adam?
173.
You should have 20.
Okay, you've got 100% power. The wind is 20 gusting 30 from the west to southwest. Copy, Adam?
No, that's what I got.
Okay, Dog Harbour, back to you.
Yeah, thank you. Boy, it's interesting, isn't it? I can have no copy on him at 29. Usually it's 30 that the cut-off point comes. Boy, that boat moves, doesn't it? Okay, I have Envy at 2913 and 17335, steering 165, magnetic at 9 knots. 100% cloud cover with 20 to 30 west-southwest. Is there anything to pass on? Andrew can pass it on. I'm just going to pass the microphone.
Yeah, good morning, Andrew. It's going to be about the same for them tomorrow, direction-wise. The wind's going to come down a little bit tomorrow. Won't quite be as strong. I'm guessing maybe 15 to 20 knots, 18 to 20 knots right in that area. Some higher gusts, but the wind is coming down. And the only other thing to mention to them is the frontal band, the next frontal band, will begin late Friday. Over.
Copy all that. You got the Okay. What David is saying, the same tomorrow, same direction tomorrow. The breeze coming down to 18 and 20. And the next thing to know is that on Friday, so late Friday, if you arrive with the next cut, late Friday, next cut, Okay, you're speaking to you early Friday morning today. Okay, thank you, Ella.
Oh, that's good news. ETA early Friday. I'm sure David said it would ease today. I can tell you what, he's getting more and more like a Tongan forecast, isn't he? But at least it will ease tomorrow and he can make a bit better direction. All right, but at least they're moving south rather rapidly. Fantastic signal from you this morning, so that's good, Andrew. Cobalt, Gulf Harbour. Oh, I've got an excellent signal on you again, Catherine. You always sound so cheerful. Are you just coming on watch at this time? Over. All right, go ahead. And I'll get Andrew to copy this down as well because it's in and out a little bit. Go ahead with your position. Okay, I missed the end of that, Andrew, and I think I might have got a couple of figures wrong. I have 2804. Happy with that one. 170 even. Andrew, was that correct? Okay, 17009 east, steering 160 true at 6. How did I go there? And southwest 15, and you better just give me all of the weather because she faded a bit there.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, that's good, and David has just said that's what he has on the models too. So that's interesting. 2 meters southwest, 70% cloud cover. Actually, I didn't ask Envy what their swell was like. I should have done that. And southwest 15, so it's a bit easier going from that direction over there. All right, have you got an ETA, Catherine? Repeat, Andrew. Did you say Monday? Over. Okay, got Monday. All right, so they're going to ease up a little bit there. All right, thank you for that, Catherine. Good sailing. I hope all is well on board. Is that correct? Over.
Okay. We're going to hit a frontal.
You are going to hit a frontal bend. I'm just going to pass the microphone.
Yeah, you are going to hit the frontal band that's going to hit New Zealand late Friday, probably the wee hours of the morning on Saturday, I would guess, about 1 a.m. Anyway, it's going to be sliding up toward you when it happens. It doesn't look hugely strong from what I can see in this. The winds are not going to be too bad at all, but you will hit it, and the winds will precede it being northwest, and then once you get through, then they will back very, very quickly to a westerly quadrant, probably west-southwest. We'll have to see on that. On Monday, things are going to be fairly decent, except the wind direction you're not going to like. It looks like it's going to be, well, it's going to be southwest. Looks like southwest. And wind strength, maybe about 10 to 15, so it's not going to be too bad at all. So the front, not too bad of a front, get through that, and then a bit of headwinds, and you'll be at the barn. Over. She's a whistle, latitude.
28.
Yeah,
all right, he wants to say something else. Hang on, we're just having a chat here.
Actually, this is for everyone who will be making this passage, is on this passage. When these sort of fronts go through, this is our opinion, and as you know, we don't give advice, but getting a frontal band is much, much better at 30 south than it is closing with New Zealand. The punch is generally much less at 30 than it is closer into New Zealand. So when you're faced with a situation like this where a front is unavoidable, it's definitely going to hit you one way or the other. It's better to, in our view, again, not advice, but to slow down, let it pass, and then carry on, even if the wind isn't the best direction on the other side of it. The strength and the sea conditions will be far better than closing with, say, Cape Reinga, North Cape, Cape Brett, that sort of thing. So that's really for everyone.
Okay, I hope I'm not dabbling with Catherine, but it's getting a bit difficult to hear people at the moment from that direction anyway. I know we're meant to be starting, and I will just give a call for Imagine to finish off the boats I've got on my list here. Imagine, Gulf Harbour. Nothing heard. Any relays? Okay, let's get moving then, and we'll catch up with them at a later date, hopefully. It is Wednesday, the 16th of October. Our barometer is rocketing up here at Gulf Harbour. It is now 7.9. I know that sounds low, but it has been about 8 or 9 lower. 15 degrees outside, very gusty, 15 knots of southwest wind. It changed about 3 o'clock in the morning from the other direction. We sheltered from the other direction, so we certainly know when the southwesterly comes. About, it's less than 50% cloud now. That was what it was before. I just wanted to do another few words because there is more news about the boat Essence, the Bavaria 49, that unfortunately sank with the death of the owner on board, Stuart, what's his name? Stuart Peterson, that's right, well known in Tauranga. Some of you will know the crew. Brian Goodwin was one of the crew. He is, for those of you who have gone into Tauranga, you will know he helps Bruce with the travel lift operation there. And then just to let you know that Pamela, the wife of Stuart, she is now in a normal ward. There was a very interesting article in the paper about the whole hoisting operation. It was quite interesting in that I learned that the winching height is about 21 metres, and they were getting pretty significant walls of water even there. They winched Stuart up first and then Pamela, but then they had a bit of a struggle because trying to hover the helicopter in the right spot, the pilot of course doesn't see down, was actually quite tricky. One of the chopper's sea swimmers was in the raft. He went into the raft to hook everyone safely onto the winch. But of course, trying to keep the tension on the winch cable when your swells are about 5 metres is really very difficult. If you don't have enough slack, then they get plucked out, whether they're ready to go or not. So it was a very, very excellent operation to get the 4 people on board the helicopter. I had a very nice email from Annie on Gone with the Wind. A very nice idea too. They are going to today run their New Zealand flag under their Fiji flag. They're in Fiji, half-mast, which is a very nice idea in memory of the man who lost his life. So if anyone else wants to do that, it would be really a nice thing to do. Run your New Zealand courtesy flag at half-mast. Thanks for that really nice idea, Annie. Okay, what else have we got? I'm talking about Whenuapai. That's where the Air Force Orion comes from. It's in West Auckland here. And there was, of course, with most of Auckland that used to be out in the Wop-Wops, there's now a lot of housing all around. And in fact, there is a contractor has got plans for 300 houses right around the airport at Whenuapai. And they put in a complaint about noise. They do have noise because it is an airport, and also they have engine noise at night time because they do a lot of the maintenance on the aircraft to make sure they're operational whenever they're needed. So the complaint was upheld by the Environmental Court, but it has been overturned by the Defence Minister.
Good.
And just in case you think he's a Labour man, and that's a really good thing that they've finally done, he is actually, I think, the New Zealand first person, Ron Mark. He's actually very, very competent. I think he is ex-military. But anyway, he's ruled that the airport has been there since World War II, and people knew about it, and it is necessary for it to carry out normal operations of an Air Force base, and basically they can suck it up. It will be noise, and so a really good decision has been made there. The death toll in Japan, just quickly going through a bit of news, it's gone past the 50 mark now. Quite a lot of very serious flooding has been the cause of the death toll. An interesting one, the scientists from the Woods Hole, I've always said that's a funny name, very famous Oceanographic Institute at Cape Cod, Massachusetts. They have discovered that polystyrene does not take as long to degrade as previously thought. You know, all of these people who make us not use single-use things. It certainly does not last forever, and sunlight is involved with its degradation. It still does need decades, maybe even centuries, but it's certainly not forever. So styrofoam is not quite as bad as we thought it was. And another good thing, the ozone hole in the Antarctic is the smallest in 3 decades. The better than expected levels of ozone have been attributed to a sudden warming at high altitudes. I think the meteorologists have been talking about that. We've talked about that, yes. And that happens occasionally. And this stymies the chemical reactions that usually destroy ozone high in the atmosphere. We're talking 15 to 30 kilometres above Earth, by the way. So there you have it. Natural phenomenon are responsible for this small hole this year, which I previously talked is actually heading towards South America, not even here. We still have countries manufacturing chlorofluorocarbons though, so that's a bit of a problem, but at least the ozone is going in the right direction. I do tell you though, folks, maybe that's going to mean that you won't need quite so much sunscreen here. All you folk are going to arrive in the country with reasonable tans, having been in the subtropics, but you probably will get visitors from home, North America or Europe or wherever, that are coming in the middle of winter and will be very white. You do need sunscreen in New Zealand. The burn rate, the skin cancer rate actually is grim. You burn very quickly here, even though it's in the mid to high 20s on a lovely sunny day. You do burn rather rapidly. It's amazing. Okay, what other news have we got? Boats on passage. I just want to make another plea. Please share your conditions with others. I saw one on Following Sea this morning. Wild Orchid. Audrey, Bruce and Jeff on board. Good morning to you if you're listening. They're at 22 South and 174 East. Sounds sunny and calm, but I had to sort of judge that from other factors in the email because there is no weather report. If you are reporting on Following Sea or the YIT site, please do put the weather so that we can share it to other people. Some people are following the passage just to look at what's going on, and others that are around you or in particular behind you can at least look at what your conditions are. Okay, Mr. Putin has been in Saudi Arabia and has signed oil agreements. I didn't know why they would sign oil agreements. Maybe it's the price because both Saudi and Russia have oil. But anyway, and they discussed regional security. It has been the first time he's visited since 2007, and it would appear that Russia are poised to be much more influential in the Middle East, particularly after Mr. Trump has withdrawn his folk from up in the northern Syria area. We are getting quite a lot of information in the news now about what's going on there. It's a little bit sad, and nobody's very happy that Turkey has really launched a big offensive there. Mr. Trump is now threatening the export of steel to the USA, but it's a little bit difficult to know what's going to happen there. Certainly Turkey's activities are also upsetting their relationship with NATO. So there you go. All right, let's have a look at what people are reporting on streaming. Port Vila, 6 knots southeast, mostly cloudy, 1013. I'll tell you what, New Caledonia on the satellite picture looks good. Port Denarau, 1010.4, wind 2 to 3 knots southeast, temperature 23. That reminds me, I have put on our website in the gallery a couple of amazing videos from Panache. They turned their lights on. They've got a catamaran, and they turned the lights on under the boat, and a manta ray, unbelievable, at Muscat, a manta ray was feeding. The lights, of course, attracted a lot of flagellates or whatever it is that manta rays eat, and they had this video of this manta ray just coming in with its mouth open, scoffing up the food underneath Panache. So fantastic. If you want to see that video, I put it in the gallery section of our website, which is ghradio.co.nz. We've got Exocet Strike travelling from Crony to Noumea. Oh, they broke a water maker hose. Winds light, 70% cloud. Cool. That's interesting. They better get used to it. Oh no, they're going on to Fiji, so they will. To Australia. They will to be climatized. Okay, what have we got here? Velak, raining. Here, Fiji doesn't look very good. They're in the Blue Lagoon. Got a beautiful picture from Koromiko, who walked up the hill there and took a lovely picture over the Blue Lagoon. I must put that on the website too when they get back, get them to send it. Good morning to Akapela, Port Denarau, 1013, Sabu, calm, high overcast, 1011, 27. Ooh, that's pretty warm. No rain or thunderstorms at all yesterday in Sabu. Amazing. Oh, that'd be amazing. It would be cumulonimbus clouds. Cumulonimbus. Yes, it's all one word. I was asking David yesterday about that when I put something on a picture of ours. We had a lot of stratocumulus here one day with a hole in it right above our house. And he did assure me that it's all one word. Okay, I wanted to ask Jasper too, if you could email me, please. I need your email address, but also a big thank you. Okay, what is the time? Oh, it's 8:15. I better hand the microphone over. I know there's somebody with weather for you. Here's David.
What's a little weather? Climate's so boring. Okay, good morning. And looking first at the upper levels. Our sharp shortwave trough, left leaning by the way, has closed off. And it's sitting right above East Cape, right above East Cape. Now the Tasman shows a rather weak upper ridge, while the Oz Bight, that's the best way to explain the Oz Bight. Anybody that does not understand Australia, it's the bottom of Australia, and it looks like a great white shark just took a chunk out of the middle of it on the bottom. So everybody calls it the Bight. And anyway, that happens to be the area where the next shortwave trough is getting ready to create a little bit more havoc. So viewing the surface analysis under the first shortwave is, of course, this very tragic, nasty depression that we had. Of interest yesterday afternoon here at Gulf Harbor, our barometric pressure dropped down to 989. Incredibly low. This was one nasty, well wrapped up storm. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. To the west, under the ridge, that little weak ridge we're talking about, there is a weak high, and that covers the upper Tasman. And under the Oz shortwave, as I've said, we're going to find a surface depression, and it's a very large surface depression. It covers that entire sea area south towards Antarctica. In spite of the weak high in the northern Tasman, the weak surface high and the weak ridge, upper level flow actually remains cyclonic. So around the 700 millibar area, when I look at the satellite moves, I'm looking at how the clouds are moving, and you can sort of estimate the height of the clouds by the temperature. And anyhow, that's what's happening there. Now, at the moment, this intense depression is nearly over. It's past Gulf Harbor Radio. As I was writing this this morning, looking at all the data, it's pretty much over East Cape. It's underneath the closed upper low. That doesn't mean the winds are gone, though. The winds for the Opua area, southwest 25, and they've got a northerly swell there of about 3 meters. And on top of that, there's an easterly swell coming in at 2 meters to 2.5 meters. So it's a rather confused sea condition up there, as you can well imagine. The winds ease a little bit Thursday, but Friday, now they're back up to 25 knots. But this is now out of the northwest. And this is for the benefit of the couple of boats that are approaching. Was more than a couple. There's a whole skew that are coming in from Minerva. The next cold front hits the North Island late Friday. I would say anywhere from 10 p.m. to maybe 1 a.m. Saturday, right in that area. The edge of that cold front is going to hammer the North Island itself. Now, the yachts that left Minerva, we had about 10 of them, should see west-southwest to southwest winds. We're not getting any news from these people, but my guess is the winds could very easily be 20 knots, gusting up to 35 knots at around 30 south. It's still not trivial out there. Still some decent swells, and these winds are on the nose for those people. So strong stomachs, I hope. Anyway, they will ease a wee bit on Thursday, then shifting to the northwest on Friday. And that, of course, is what is preceding the cold front later Friday night, early Saturday morning. Minerva Reef itself is on the back side of the frontal band. In fact, Midnight Sun, one of the yachts that was still there this morning, reports the axis had passed at noon yesterday. They had an immediate wind shift. They had northeast winds, fairly fresh, and boom, blow your nose, and before you know it, the winds were out of the southwest. It happened that fast. I think there's 3 boats there at Minerva at the moment, One may leave, the others are thinking about it. Departure now for New Zealand is going to involve the next front. Then a bit of an ease after it goes through, and then we're going to be looking at fresh westerlies starting to develop on Monday. Also Monday, for the area 25 south to 30 south, in case any yachts are in that band, all the winds are going to be, well, mostly headwinds, or at least a close reach, if not a beat. Fresh southeast of coming from New Caledonia, but southerlies, light southerlies, if you're coming from Tonga or Fiji. Now, by Tuesday, 30 south to New Zealand, we're still looking at south-southwest to southwest winds. That's near New Zealand, 25 to 30 knots, as cyclonic flow is going to cover the entire country. So this is Tuesday. Let's look quickly at the tropics. The old Solomon's Trough still there, still in place. It clips northern Vanuatu, then it goes on to Fiji and southern Tonga. And there is a parallel trough that's coming from the still present tropical disturbance, and that's located near 12 and 172, 12 south, 172 east. Now, emanating from it are a couple of troughs. One of the troughs goes over Fiji, and then it arcs south-southeast to pass just east of Raoul Island in the Kermadec. Okay, over to Tonga now, where cloud from the troughs, nearby troughs, rolls over the kingdom pretty much. So expect the trough to affect the area right through tomorrow. Winds by lunch, I figure northeast 15 to 20, tending east to east-northeast by dinner. Tomorrow, easterlies in the 15-knot range, shifting pretty quickly, to northerlies from New Potatoes down to Vavau, and southeasterlies for the Hapais and Tongatapu. Give you some actuals. These are Mettar's airport reports. These are accurate. 6 a.m. It was raining at Tongatapu, scattered to broken. Northeast 5 knots, not much wind. Barometer 1013, 1013. The Hapais east 5, scattered to broken, and the barometer 1012, 1012. Vavau easterlies at 5, scattered to broken, and 1013 for Vavau. Now to wet Fiji, where the troughs, plural, lies slow moving over the country. Yes, that other trough that I mentioned is also a player, so it's a bit of a double whammy for Fiji. Fiji Met now has issued a heavy rain warning for a number of areas, the Asawas, the Mamanukas, western Viti Levu, Kendavu area, nearby areas to Kendavu. Heavy rain, so if you're in that area, you need water, you should be able to fill up your tanks. Within this mess, expect occasional thunderstorms, and the reason I mention thunderstorms, again, that's when you get your extreme gusts. They could easily be 30, 35 knots. I've seen them up to 50. I've seen wind shifts to 180 degrees. So be careful how you're anchoring when there's a report of potential thunderstorms. Anyway, winds look to be predominantly northeast in the 15-knot range. The southwest areas of Fiji could see southeasterly winds. Thursday's a real big mix. From the Coral Sea to the Lao, I'm looking at east to east-northeast, but Kendavu to southwest Viti Levu, southeast winds, and quite fresh, probably 20 to 25. Now, the top of the northern Yasawas and Vanua Levu, the winds north to north-northwest, fairly light to moderate. So yes, they are all over the place. In fact, looking very carefully at this, it almost looks like we have a very weak disturbance that is over Fiji. And this is going to continue into Thursday. Very, very weak, but to me it looks cyclonic. But that all goes away on Friday. So don't worry about anything developing. Does not look like that is a possibility. Friday, look for southeasterlies for the group. Then for the southern half of Fiji, the winds look to be quite fresh as well, 20 to 25 knots down there in the southern bits. Now on to Vanuatu. They're on the southern edge or the western edge, whatever you want to look at it, of the Solomon's Trough. And a cloud is seen from the banks all the way down to Port Vila. South of there, it looks quite fair, scattered cloud. And I'm picking this up from satellite imagery, which, as most of you know, I use extensively here. Expect isolated showers for the northern and the central areas, while partly cloudy to the south. Now to the north, the winds look to be southeast 20 to 25. Bit of wind up there, but only about 10 to 15 for the central and the southern areas. Tomorrow, the chain should see southeasterlies, maybe getting up to 20 knots. Maybe not quite that much, but some areas maybe 20. And there are plenty of wind shadow areas. So when I give these winds for Vanuatu in particular, the west side of these skinny islands, long islands, you get tremendous wind shadow effect. In fact, it could be worse than that. You've heard me say this before perhaps, but you could have a southeast wind hitting the eastern side of, say, Mewu, and on the western side you could have northerly winds. It just bends, comes around, and creates very, very odd direction winds, much to the disgust of a lot of people that want to sail on that side. Newcal looks pretty decent on imagery. Our lagoon should see southeast winds around 10 knots, quite nice. Picking up maybe to 15 this afternoon. That's sort of normal for the tropics in the afternoons. Tomorrow, east-southeast, I'd say around 15. And Friday, it eases a bit back to about 8 to 10 knots, maybe east-southeast. Now, I just wanted to mention one thing about these depressions and this tragedy that we had. So we've been doing this now for I don't know how many years, 8 years, I suppose, but we also have been cruising for 15. So the one thing I wanted to mention about the Southwest Pacific, to me, the most dangerous depressions that we could find, apart from a tropical cyclone, let's exclude that, that's obvious. But of the rest of them, the subtropical depression is by far the most dangerous and the one to worry about. These are the ones that form south of about 22 south. And at that point, that's where we go from tropics to subtropics. Now, these are incredibly dangerous because they pull in wind from the north. Remember we talked the other day about northeast winds up at the islands? And they're feeding these depressions or troughs or fronts. And they're pulling in very warm, moist air. On the other side, the depression is pulling in relatively cold air and relatively drier air. That's a mix for a very, very nasty system. Basically, some people like to call it turbocharging the depression, and that's kind of what happens. And not only that, but these depressions have a very, very bad habit of moving fast. Now, you may remember I had mentioned when this thing was forming that we had two upper level shortwave troughs. And I mentioned that they were not in phase, meaning that if you were to look at the axes of each of them, they weren't in line with each other. However, they did sync. They did go in line. And that is what caused this depression, which was fairly mellow when it first started to form. It just blew up. The minute that the upper levels went into sync, this thing just developed, and we had one isobar, two isobars, 5 isobars, just like that. I did a slight calculation on how fast this thing was moving. I did a 24-hour period. It averaged 30 knots. That's how fast the depression itself was going, 30 knots. That doesn't count the wind that's swirling around. And of course, the reports of the wind off Cape Breton were 50 knots and higher. I saw somebody talk about 60 knots. I wouldn't be surprised. So these are some of the things that you need to worry about. I don't want you to worry, but let's rephrase that. Let's say to be looking for. I would much rather have a Tasman depression hit me than a subtropical depression hit me if I was out there to show you how I feel about all of this. So anyway, just a little bit of food for thought when you're doing your planning. And oftentimes, bear in mind that these things, when they do start to pop up and develop, they develop fast. And that's when everything goes out the window, all your calculations. So anyway, that's enough of that. I'll pass it over to the chief, and we'll go from there.
Thank you for that. I will throw it open in a minute because I will need you, Andrew, to try and find Imagine for me. But some information that's just come in thanks to Pip on Tuatara. Where the pumice is coming from, and I know people are swimming, and I know David's going to groan now, swimming in pumice. The Belix are swimming in pumice at Blue Lagoon, which is probably quite good because you get a sort of a body scrub at the same time. But anyway, that all comes from the Metis Shoal volcano, which is about 25 to 30 miles north of Kao in the Hawaiis. Well, it is again smoking and steaming. The towering smoke is getting to between 15 and 17,000 feet. Tonga have issued an alert for aircraft, but it is indicating an increased likelihood of an eruption. So you folk that are in the Hawaiis, you might want to give that a bit of a berth, wide berth. It is the submarine volcano, folks, that is causing you all to swim and sail through the pumice rafts. Okay, a few more have checked in on streaming, a lot on streaming today, about 24 of you. Good morning to Shimata and Isle of Pines, where it's westerly. They say it's backing a bit to the southeast, but the satellite pictures shows that it is going to be fairly consistently southwest. But anyway, we'll see what happens there. Good morning to Felici in Waya, 12 knots easterly and drizzle, of course.
That's not my forecast for Newco.
What was your forecast?
South-southeast.
South-southeast. Oh, you say south-southeast, do you? Oh, well, there you are. It's on its way. Hot and muggy for Amazing Grace up there at Pacific Marina. They finally left Belanga. And Shimata says and wonders if you can tell me how to get New Zealand weather warnings mentioned in the New Zealand text forecast coming off Sail Mail. I can't seem to find the file name needed to ask for the file from Sail Mail. Somebody might want to help with that because my days of using Sail Mail are long gone. Of course, you can hear them on the radio. The maritime radio broadcasts have those. But if you want to get them on the email system, somebody might assist us on that one between now and tomorrow. ghradio@extra.co.nz if you want to get in touch. All right. Who else? Imagine. I need a position report. Are you listening? Over.
Somebody's there.
Somebody is there. I just checked on 8752 and it's clear now, so probably people are wondering where we are. Andrew, iCandy, could you pick them up because I don't think I'm going to be able to copy anything very accurately. Go ahead, Andrew. Oh, I've got you. Sorry, Andrew. I've got you. Did you copy Imagine? Going to be a challenge. Go ahead, Andrew. Okay, sounds good. 10 knots from the southwest at 2832 and 16942, just ahead of Cobalt there. And so what is their ETA, please? The ETA, over.
You get Saturday afternoon, is it Roger? Good. Saturday afternoon, that's a good job.
Yeah, roger that. I don't understand why Cobalt is ETA Monday, but anyway, I'm sure there is a reason. So Saturday afternoon, I shall let Rachel know. Thank you very much. And you're, I don't know what you do, but every now and again you blow my ears off here, so that's good. Are you going to be able to be on the radio tomorrow at about 10 to the hour? Because I will need help with getting positions because they'll all be in my skip, over. Thank you very much. All right. And if you could just put out a call now for any boats that are below 29, as it is today, and who want to give a position report and conditions, that would be good. Over.
Okay, this is Ike Candy. Relay for the dog on the radio. Any other people who need to call in, relay, go ahead. People downstairs, we need to call in to dog on the radio. Please call out. I don't know if I'm there particular.
Yeah, they probably disappeared when David started talking because they wouldn't hear him. All right, thank you very much, folks. Just keep in mind that if you are on passage and you want to share your position and conditions, we do start about 1:45 the hour where conditions are in fact better, and we will certainly be able to copy you a little bit better then with Andrew's help. All right, a final call for anybody with any questions or comments. Please call now. Okay, nothing heard. Thank you, Andrew, for the work there. Good morning to you too, Claire. And we will be, we've got 90% cloud cover now. We will be back again tomorrow morning. Cheers, everybody. And what else have I got to tell you? Nothing much more. Our Pilgrim have reported in from 1630 or 16735. I think that's down the bottom of Malakula somewhere. I don't know. I have to look it up.
See if you can raise Midnight Sun.
No, Midnight Sun, their radio is not all that good.
Right.
But sail more. If you are still listening, sail more. Can you tell me whether Midnight Sun has left this morning, please? Over. Oh, I've lost you now too. It's a bit late. All right, we'll catch up with you. Or Andrew, did you copy him over?
Yeah, you let me see Midnight Sun, but Midnight Sun is Minerva, I believe. Is that Roger?
Yeah, it's a Roger, and he was thinking about leaving today. Not sure whether he still will, because David responded on that one. But we were just wondering if he is still going to leave. Over.
Okay, Snowball is in the Hawkeye, ever.
Oh goodness, I'm a bit sleepy here. I was actually wanting Bellina. Bellina, are you on frequency? God, I'm just so tired.
It's okay, but going back. Maybe there.
Nothing heard here. Well, cheers, everybody. Oh, God, this damn thing. Yeah, I'm just so sleepy.
Yep. Line down.
1, 2, 8, 7, 9 is 11, 3, 2. I'm going to turn the streaming off, folks. I think we've all finished. Let's have a look here. Hopefully you have got our paper hanger here.